You're back in black! Welcome to the walkthrough. I'm DeoGenZ and that's Fennel! Alright! Friend of Professor Juniper. Alright, I'm gonna stop singing right now. Okay, I get carried away sometimes, all the times. Anyway, hey, I'm DeoGenZ, guys. What's going on? We're back in the Pokemon Black walkthrough, and we're meeting Professor Juniper's friend, Fennel. Apparently she has something for us. Okay, so she's taking us into her room. And wow, what a crazy room she has. It looks normal, nice carpet, desk, bed, some kind of transmogrifier device in the background, who knows. I bet it has a flux capacitor, that's all I'm saying. And, oh, look at that. She was asked to help us out. That's definitely something that this game will do, is kind of hold your hand through your journey, whether you want it to or not. Luckily, the second part of this game, and I mean the post-Elite Four adventures, lets you go out on your own and just find some strong Pokemon to go battle without having to have Charon, or I was about to say Bell again. I stopped myself, but Bianca, have them follow you around the whole time. But now she's talking about Dream Mist. And Game Sync, huh? Alright, well, some interesting features. Which, as of now, and please, before you say anything in the comments, look at when this was posted. That's always something that's annoying. Oh, it's available now. That feature's available now, DeoGenZ. Oh yeah, well look when I posted this. But as of now, not all of the Sea Gear functionality, which is essentially what we're working towards today, will be functional. Because March 30th is when the Pokemon Global link goes fully up. And also, next week is when the 3DS comes out, and I'm going to be going to New York City to the launch and taking lots of videos and keeping you guys posted on that, so it's going to be fun. But also on March 30th, that's when the global link is finally available to everybody, because they were doing a big reworking on the site. It was available for the Japanese, but even they have it down for now, and not because of the earthquakes or anything, it's just they're reallocating and reorganizing the site. Moon! But once that's going up, that means we'll all be connected in ways we never were before in Pokemon. I really love how expansive it's getting. Make us some Dream Mist! Now, I'm not sure what the logic behind these guys' actions are, but why would they berate Pokemon if they're trying to liberate Pokemon? Just seems kind of counterintuitive. You'd think they would work to try and catch it, and then try and be friends with the Munna, and then maybe it'll make some dream dust. I don't know, that's just me. I will admit, look at that. Bam. What are they doing? Spit out the Dream Mist. You're a bunch of thugs. You're a bunch of thugs running around in archaic armor. How could you say that you're liberating Pokemon when you're smacking them down? Yeah, you're fighting for the freedom. Bullshit. Bull. Call shenanigans. Yeah, by force? Okay. Jeez, it sounds like the American government. Oh, the hypocrisy. No politics. Boring for this video. So, now we get to fight Team Plasma. And we start to see that they're not all about Poke liberation. Yeah, Geetus may have given that heart-wrenching speech, but still doesn't mean that his team members aren't a bunch of thugs. After all, they are to be perceived as the evil group for this game. But I definitely like the way that they twisted it. It's not so much that it's an evil group anymore. I mean, it is, but it kind of makes you question the morality of Pokemon. For example, recently I went back and looked at some of the old Whirl Island episodes of Pokemon, and I saw the one episode where Misty gets her Corsola. And the episodes before that, leading up to it, she was like, oh man, I can't wait to get a Corsola. I'm definitely getting a Corsola. When I find it, I'm going to catch it. And then it came to catching Corsola, and it's like, I really want this Pokemon. Now I'm going to beat the crap out of it. And Poliwhirl is just double slapping the shit out of it. And it's ridiculous. It's like, this Pokemon is instantly going to befriend you after you beat the crap out of it. I mean, if you think about that, it's a very backwards kind of mental thing that they're pulling on you. And it's been kind of natural because it's in the game. But I mean, some of the anime, I go back and watch that and like, wow. You know, I bet that kind of upped my tolerance for violence. That's probably something that made me less, what's the word? Less, I can't even think of it. Less susceptible to feeling anything when I see violence. I guess that would be the best way to put it. But it just seems so weird that I'm going to catch this Pokemon, and even though I beat the hell out of it, it's going to like me as soon as I throw the Pokeball and it stays in. I mean, is it a respect thing? Does the Pokemon respect the fact that you just went up and beat up on it? Like, what if you're a little Caterpie? I mean, if you guys watch my Pokepark Wii walkthrough, Let's Play, and you see the episode with Caterpie in it, you see how small that thing is, even compared to Pikachu? Now imagine coming through as a starting trainer with a Charmander and burning it to a crisp. Do you think that a Caterpie is going to love you? Oh, you just burned me. You put me over a fire, and I now love you instantly. No, he's going to be like, what the hell? String shot. And I'm running the hell out of here. Even though I don't think they can run, they just kind of crawl across the floor. But hopefully they string shot you enough so your speed falls so low that you won't be able to flame them anymore. Like I'm doing to this Purloin. I was about to say Koroneku. It's funny because I still have the Japanese names in my mind. And this Friday, by the way, we're going to do a live chat, or live cast, rather. And it's going to be a Poke Chat sort of thing. And I was wanting to hold it off, but due to the major response of the Ocarina of Time live cast, I decided to just speed it up and say, you know what, we're going to do this now. But what are you two doing? And what? We Team Plasma shall separate Pokemon from foolish people. If you cannot fulfill your duties... This isn't Gidas when he is gathering followers, or Gidas when he is trying to control people by tricking them with speeches. This is Gidas when a plan has failed. Oh no. At any rate, let's hurry and say we're sorry so he forgives us. Was that even real? Wow. Felt like I just had a psychedelic experience in this whole walkthrough. Just there. But anyway, this Friday we're going to do a Poke Chat sort of thing on probably Justin TV. I got to get the whole thing set up and make sure all the things are running smoothly before we do it, but that's nothing for you guys to worry about. And I was wanting to hold off on doing that because I still have all the Japanese names in mind. So when people want to ask me questions like, what should I teach my Purloin, for example, or my Oshawott, what are the best moves and what are the best EV sets for it, I don't know if I necessarily would have the best information yet because I haven't even played through the full game. See, even though I'm doing this walkthrough, I do have my own cartridge version of Pokemon Black, and in that game, unlike most all the other Pokemon games I play, I'm taking it slow. Like really slow. Slower than I've ever played before. I think that's partially because of the walkthroughs, because half the time I have to play on camera and record and then narrate, but then another part of it is just playing for pleasure. And sometimes the walkthroughs outweigh the pleasure part because, in my mind, they're more important sometimes. So I'm definitely going at a much slower rate than any other Pokemon game that I've played before. Munna! You know, I wonder if Munna is the first Pokemon, I don't know if it's programmed that way, to show up in grass after that little cutscene. Because if I recall in the white walkthrough, the Japanese white walkthrough that I did, Munna, when we walked in the grass, was the first Pokemon that we encountered in Dreamland. And in the white walkthrough, I made the mistake of raising a Munna and then prematurely evolving it with a Moonstone, and I won't be making that mistake this time. It's cool that its name is the same, though, because that's one less Pokemon that I have to do translations in my head for. But anyway, I'm sure that you guys won't really mind that I don't know all the Pokemon names, and I'm sure that most of you will just be happy to come out and chat with old DeoGenZ. Come on. Yes! We've got a Munna! We beat it up and now it will befriend us. Munna always floats in the air. Or Munna always float in the air. People whose dreams are eaten by them forget what dreams they had. Pretty interesting, huh? The Dream Eater Pokemon. I saw a funny comic of a Drowsy standing next to Munna saying, "Huh, what about me?" And that's a good question. What about Drowsy? He was the original Dream Eater Pokemon. I don't know. Crazy concept, though, to think that there would be a creature that eats your dreams so you can't remember what happened in them. You could only maybe remember vague spots because perhaps you were encountered by a Munna that was sort of full and was just going out dream snacking, and your dream just looked tasty enough to take some nibbles on but not eat the whole thing. So you remember bits and parts, so you remember the people that were there, you remember that you were on a flying toaster, and you don't know what else happened. It's pretty interesting. But I don't think the mind works like that, being that there are no Pokemon in real life, which is a shame, but every day it seems that we become closer and closer to blurring the lines between virtual and reality, and I'm not speaking virtual reality, I'm speaking the virtual world and reality, to the point that Pokemon are really going to be pretty real. As real as they can be without being actual creatures, which I think is pretty cool because we don't need more creatures on the world. We're already overpopulating it too much to the point where natural resources are going quite scarce. So to have virtual creatures that are so lifelike and so interactable with that they seem real, that seems like the next best step to me. I could foresee Nintendo eventually getting into the realm of holograms, projections that can either come out of the front of your DS or whatever kind of portable or console we'll be playing with in the future, and we'll be able to see live Pokemon battles right before our eyes, but everybody will, and everybody can see every other Pokemon that's out there, and it won't be like the 3DS where you have to be behind the screen in that position to see. You could see it from any angle. But I do think that the 3DS, I'm so excited for it, so excited. I do think that the 3DS is a big transition stage in that, because when 3D Pokemon games start coming out, imagine how real that's going to look. I really want a Poke-Pet simulation, actually, and whether they want to make it a downloadable title or a full retail game, I will go buy it, because I really would like to just interact with Pokemon, observe them in their natural habitat. Before, I suggested having augmented reality within Pokemon cards, so you would shine the DS camera on a Pokemon card, and then a 3D world would emerge from it. I mean, I think that would just be so cool, and it would really start to blur the line between reality and the virtual world. So Seagear, even though we can't use it now, this is the PAL Pad, which I've already registered a few people in my cartridge game. Not many, though, because I don't have any EV trained Pokemon of my own. That's another kind of con of doing walkthroughs, is that I don't have as much time to train or EV train Pokemon. So I won't be battling as fast as in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, because those Pokemon were from the Diamond and Pearl days. And I had plenty of time back then to do all the EV training in the world. So, in the next episode, we first will reheal our Pokemon because we've got the time. In the next episode, we will be heading out of Striaton City, heading west and slightly north to see what lies on Route 3. I hope to see you again, as Nurse Joy does, in the next episode. Oh, and since I rambled about virtual reality and that stuff, I'll talk about Seagear in the next EP. See you then.